I am Richard Meunier. I'm Principal Archivist at Bath and North East Somerset Council, and I manage the Bath Record Office.
And you're helping us because you've got quite a lot of information about the Min going back to...
We do, pretty much the beginning. We would like to have more, but a lot wasn't retained over the years. But what we do have dates back to the 18th century and includes medical records of the Mineral Water Hospital, some plans that were done at the time, the original wing that was constructed in, I think, 1737, and then we have lots of history and medicine textbooks that came with that collection, a number of objects which have ended up in the Medical Museum as well, and lots of interesting administrative records to show how the hospital was set up and run. So they are a very valuable resource.
And one of the things that the project is trying to do, and this is where you're going to be able to help us, is we want to rebuild the 1742 hospital, which is when it opened, and you're supplying some of the plans and the suggestions.
Yes, I mean, I suppose with this we'll have to piece it together from the sort of fairly small amount of evidence that we have. But I mean, my background is in hospital archives and museums. And I did work in an 18th century hospital, not that it was exactly the same purpose, it was more of a general voluntary hospital for those in London that I worked, with this being a specialist one. But I think I can apply some of my knowledge and some of what we have in terms of some elevations and floor plans, not only from the 18th century wing but the 19th century wing as well, that we can hopefully collate into something that will work really well for this project.
And what is interesting is you've got some written details about patients and doctors.
We do. Again, only a small amount was saved, really, but we do have a case book, which is sort of the real kind of number one highlight of the collection, and it's been preserved very nicely, and it does show how patients were treated at the hospital, almost from the beginning. I think it's a mid-18th century case book. I think most of Bath is a living archive, really, in some ways. And the fact we have so much in the way of architectural records of the city, it is quite rare that the completeness of what we have in terms of certain architects' records being deposited with us, like Beresford Smith, particularly, that's a very large one, but the city itself, which actually started planning initiatives and building regulations really early. In the case of those building plans, they start in the 1860s, and right up till now we have a almost complete record of how the city was built by and large. And so really those kind of records with sort of bringing it to life in terms of a model constitute a living archives where it's bringing it to life, it's something quite immersive. Potentially as well. I think that's what this project could lead to other similar projects.